How may I help? Well, that is some ship you have there. It has been too long since I've tinkered with a ship from the settled systems. Well, I had a privileged upbringing that allowed me to hone my skills on all sorts of different ships. So, if you need anything for your ship, just let me know. About that. My father was a technician far outside of Dasra. Growing up, I would help him repair or strip all of the ships that were being delivered to him. Delivered by zealots. The ships were incredible. Deimos, Stroud Eklund, even Hope Tech. It was so exciting to work on them, but now I just feel dirty. Knowing where those ships came from, what had to be done to acquire them. When I grew older, I came to my senses, grew a conscience, and abandoned my father. I thank the Great Serpent that I managed to avoid that life. Oh, no. Not in Dazra, at least. From time to time, our connections are able to deliver an outsider ship. They are very rare, though, and the times I get to work on one are very few and far between. Thank you. It is moments like these that I know I made the right choice. Here are the ships I have in stock.
Will I ever see my family again?
Did something catch your eye? Or are you just checking?
The Great Serpent, so do not agitate him any further.
Salutations.
I pray that the Great Serpent delivers us from this soon. We cannot take much more of this.
Adherent.
Do you think we will all be okay? Do you think the Great Serpent is mad at us? I hear some people saying that.
Great Serpent, please help me. you doing? I am terrified.
If it is a bottle of Causa you need, Herald's Rest is the place.
Adherent.
Yes? Adherent?
So this is how the Great Serpent rewards his faithful. Hello? Must say I'm surprised you are still here. If I were in your shoes, I would have turned heel and ran as far away from this place as I could. All that was good in Dasra is dead and gone. We appreciate it, but some of us have lost too much already. I'm not talking about buildings or plazas or temples or offices. I'm talking about people, like my wife, that are no longer here. Dead and gone. No amount of your help will bring them back. What can I say about my Mira? She was always talking. She could go on and on about anything. A book she read, a dream she had, a future together. She had a low, soft voice. But the world is so much quieter without it. And Great Serpent, she was beautiful as the stars. She was self-conscious, though, but she had no reason to be. She would cry about her appearance at times. Who doesn't? And it would break my heart, because she was perfect to me. Some of her sensitivity must have rubbed off on me, because I cried a lot when we were together. I felt like I could be open, vulnerable. I never felt that way with anyone else. And she would just come to me and put her forehead to mine. She was... she was... Good. I think I may take some time for myself now. Seems I am all alone now. Unless you can find a way for me to trade places with my wife? No. That is selfish, I know. But I would give anything to trade places. I could not care less if I get in trouble. If I disappear now, because of the things I have been saying, it would be a mercy. Look at me. Do I look like I care if I live or die? I'm a walking corpse already. The Great Serpent saw fit to kill everything I held dear in this lifetime. And he chose to torture me by leaving me untouched. My fate is not seeing me through. Because perhaps it was our fate that put us in this position. Do not take anything for granted.
Great Serpent keep you.
Obedience is paramount.
I do hope that the Great Serpent has a plan for me. I am. I lost my job at the Cultural Center. Or more accurately, the Cultural Center is lost. It does not even exist anymore. My livelihood is gone. My credits are dwindling, and I do not know what is going to happen to me. The uncertainty is driving me mad. How can anyone even begin to make sense of it all? Hundreds of people gone in an instant, along with most of the city. It is like something out of a nightmare. I feel guilty, to tell the truth. I was supposed to work on the day the cultural center disappeared. I was sick, and my coworker covered for me. And now... they are gone forever. I just cannot stop thinking, why? Why did this have to happen to us? Sometimes I wish I became a herald. Their faith can see them through anything comfortably. Inaza, for instance, seems to be unbreakable. Perhaps I must meditate and trust the Great Serpent's designs more. This used to be the neighborhood where most of us common folk lived. Not much of a neighborhood any longer, seeing as there are only a few houses left. That being said, almost all of the noble housing that was closer to the scaled citadel is gone as well. The vortex has spared no one. It was wonderful while it lasted. The job was stable, good pay, and enjoyable. I always looked forward to the yearly trip the school children would make to the cultural center. I was one of the managers, so I was in charge of cataloging artifacts and creating displays. Most of the center was dedicated to Jinan Varun and the Serpent's Crusade. I do not necessarily agree with some of the content that was on display, but regardless, it is a shame that so much history is now lost to time. See you around. I have not seen my sister in days. Great Serpent, I pray nothing has happened to her.
Why her? Why would the Great Serpent take my wife from me?
Best to keep busy, lest you lose your purpose as well as your home.
You seem to be doing well. I'll drink to that.
Oh, if there's one thing shared by all cultures,
to be allowed to drink
it's a place to
alcohol here.
vent and drink. It is good to be back in our own ship.
Hey!
In time, Borhall and Amila will come to see how foolish they were being.
Do not move. You have committed a grave offense, citizen.
I am sorry, please, have mercy. I am starving, I cannot sleep. I cannot think due to my hunger.
If you require aid, Auntie Nirara at the Halls of Healing may be able to assist you, if she can spare the supplies. You are not the only one suffering. Your actions have deprived another of precious food. You will await your punishment at the security center. Come along.
No, no, please!
Move!
I would do anything to sleep in my own bed again. Adherent?
We will all be lucky to see the end of the year. Well, look who it is. You have made quite a stir. And given the state of things, that is a singular accomplishment. To what do I owe the honor, adherent? At the moment, obviously a great deal of nothing. Have the High Council to thank for that. Politics and expedience rarely pair well. Well, well. Progress, at last. Then your arrival is even more momentous than I'd believed. I will spare you much of the technical detail, as I confess that pieces of it I barely understand myself. One cannot help but notice the energy field around the Scaled Citadel. Until we can get through it, we cannot shut down the experiment inside, and it has proved quite impossible to get through. We had the beginnings of a plan to build a makeshift contraption to redirect grav drive energy to see if we could penetrate the barrier, but the project came to a halt. Politics got in the way.
I can imagine that without the speaker to issue clear directions, things have been difficult.
Every one of the houses needs to contribute, and everyone realized they could potentially use it for leverage.
What should have been a cooperative effort turned contentious. Easy decisions became negotiations. And so, construction never began. We have sat here, staring at this disaster as supplies pile up for well over a week now. Serpent help us, it is infuriating. The Council just so happens to represent the 3 houses under Varun's banner, who are also entrusted with various aspects of running, well, everything. Each of those houses needs to contribute something to the project, so the Council is the final stopgap. Were the Speaker here, he could bypass all of it with a wave of his hand, but, well, you have already seen the state he's in. Indeed. All must serve. I believe I've done enough complaining for now. Time to get to work. If you're here, the Council has likely sent word to the houses that it's time to stop the infighting. I doubt it will be enough. I need to oversee construction here, make sure things are built to specifications. If you could follow up with the houses, that may speed up the process. I appreciate that someone around here is eager to get to work. House Fetal owes us access codes for the city power grid. It's the only way to guarantee enough power to activate the device. House Kadik was supposed to provide a young scientist named Sahima to help me. She had at least some experience with the original Citadel experiment. No idea why they refused to send her. And Hasmek, the new elder of House Dulkef, he has been distant, guarded. He claims to have vital information about an important component of the experiment, but has withheld it until now. Help me get what we need, and we will see what we can do for the Speaker, and for House Varun. And I may have something that can help you in whatever trials the Serpent puts before you as we navigate this. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own research when I can. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. If only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all this. Yes, exactly. I am glad I am not the only one who can see that. Does nothing to make the loss any easier, but still. We have encountered several interesting phenomena. First, while the phantoms shift to a fully human form when killed, they often retain small shards that appear to be an almost crystallized version of vortex energy. Second, we have learned that killing the phantoms sometimes causes an even greater disturbance. Horrors, as they have been colloquially termed, can appear from somewhere. We are unsure of their origin, but it is not within our universe. These horrors and their spawn are infested with cysts, a seemingly organic manifestation of vortex energy. We have managed to collect enough to run experiments and have devised a method of combining them into an explosive mixture with varying properties. While they have no use in the development of the morning device, if you find yourself out in the field, I believe they could have more practical applications. The process is simple enough that any industrial workstation should suffice, if you have the materials. And, depending on how you combine said materials, you may find the results to be somewhat variable. I hope you can use that to your advantage. Not enough to have prevented it from happening. If I had any idea it was going to turn out like this... It had been Inasco's primary goal for some time. A way to recreate Jinan Varun's encounter with the Great Serpent. Everything we knew about grav drive technology, every scientific advancement we'd made in the last 100 years was poured into it. Towards the end, I was just so exhausted. I asked for a brief time off, and I thought I would be trapped in there with the rest of the science team. Yes, I am sure that is how some would see it. I left the project weeks before the disaster, and at that point, we were nowhere near ready. Some breakthroughs were made shortly thereafter, and they ran the experiment. And here we are. Just look around. I'm sure you have at least some idea of how much we have physically lost. A huge portion of the city is just gone. And those left behind are struggling. Supplies are limited. There is so much work to be done, and we are all just so tired. I hope that eventually we can return things to the way they were, but we must be realistic. That will take time, and I suspect a great deal of it. Yes, depending on how much trouble you're getting into. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own research when I can. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. If only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all this. I know. I have lost friends. We have encountered several. Second, we have learned that these horrors, and we have managed to collect enough. Well, they have no.
Say something if you see things worth investigating.
House Kadik seems to have remained largely unscathed.
Of survivor's guilt to live in such splendor. Or if the residents don't care about the optics.
Sup and keep you. Promise.
Our info chosen. I've heard Sahima is vital in the morning device construction. I pray for her safe delivery back home.
How is the documentation going?
My mind goes numb at the thought of it.
Would you rather be out in the field, among the heretics?
As much as I hate to say it, I know you're right. I'd be a terrible agent. I may be able to keep a secret with the best of them, but when it comes to improvising on the go, I'd be exposed in a heartbeat.
I have never been one to spend much time in bed, but you may be changing.
Commerce is the only branch that really irritates me. I may complain about our level of secrecy and paperwork, but at least we deal in subterfuge and security. Dulcev hoards information for their own self-importance, and they deal with common smugglers. All must serve.
The Great Serpent spared so many of us, yet we all still feel the loss.
The impression we don't want to give.
Works in our favor? It's not up for discussion. I won't risk what we've worked so hard to achieve. It's done.
No, you'd risk our future and reputation as a house. But you are the chosen elder.
Don't patronize me. The Great Serpent spared our house. We are favored here. And shouldn't you get back to the council? We can't afford to be absent at a time like this.
I guarantee I'm not missing much. But you're right. I'll be heading back soon enough. We'll talk later. I was on a walk, nearing Jinan Plaza. My view of the Citadel was clear. I saw the windows flood with light and then a flash so bright, I was forced to turn away. When I turned back, my eyes saw only a swirl of energy surrounding the Citadel and the crater that surrounded it. Adherent?
So, Ekris has sent our newest adherent to inquire about Sahima. Don't worry, Jimal's already told me all about you. I'm Razma, Elder of House Kadik and head of the Ministry of Conjunction. Well, it's also an honor to meet one as interesting as yourself. I wouldn't have suspected an outsider to be made promised. But who am I to argue with the Great Serpent's choice? I know the Council is looking to Sahima for answers, but the truth is, she's been taken, along with other members of the House. They're being held hostage by zealots, and now they're demanding negotiations.
This is a major overreach. I have never known the zealots to be so bold.
What happened to Dazra was a cataclysmic event. The city may seem in order now, but those first few days, it was chaos. And the zealots took advantage. Because right now, this situation is a matter for the Ministry of Conjunction. As much as the Council thinks it's their business, it's not. At least not yet. They want Sahima, and we're trying to produce her. Perhaps the Zealots you know. But they were once a part of Varun society. Our relationship is far more complex. The Zealots have yet to name specifics. At best, they'll demand an inordinate amount of credits or firearms. Worst case, a seat at the High Council or even the reinstatement of their house. House Malene. They know we can't risk Sahima for Dazra's sake. So, they won't hold back when it comes to demands. They had a house. House Malene was abandoned a long time ago, but there are some who'd want to see it reinstated. House Malene was fully dedicated to Jandar Varun. They objected when his brother, Jarek, was chosen to take over as leader. They knew he would bring an end to the Serpent's Crusade. It's why they abandoned their house and became the Zealots you know today, to continue what they believe is Jinan and Jandar's work. Jinan Varun had twin sons, Jarek and Jandar. Jandar fully supported the Serpent's Crusade, and to many in House Malene, was the best suited to take over for his father. Yes, and it's exactly why I need the upper hand in these negotiations. I need you to find the hostages. Bring them home, so the Zealots have nothing to leverage, and Sahima can work with the High Council. Normally I'd have agents doing everything possible to find them. But we too suffered losses. We need to be here, present. I couldn't risk more lives. It's the only reason I even agreed to these negotiations. But now that you're here, I can finally take action. And that's where the issue lies. I don't know where the Zealots are keeping Sahima, but I have a good idea who does. Their name is Merrick. Merrick is a Kadik, and they also work for me as an agent in the Ministry of Conjunction. This is where matters get complicated. Once I made the decision to go through with the negotiations, it wasn't necessary. Now that the situation has changed, well, that's going to be your job now. It's not the family name that complicates matters here. As I said, Merrick works for me in the Ministry of Conjunction. They've been establishing an inside relationship with the Zealots for some time now. On my orders. Forcing them to give up the information could jeopardize all they've worked for. So don't expect them to be forthcoming. Get the information any way you see fit. As long as no physical harm comes to them.
Understood.
The Zealots don't trust easily. If their location was discovered, Merrick would most likely be the first they'd suspect. They'd never trust them or any agent of House Kadik again. The people of Dazra look to us elders for strength and guidance. We cannot fail them at a time like this. Don't let my composure fool you, promised? It's neither easy, nor something I take lightly. What better way to surveil a threat? It's important for us to know what the Zealots may be targeting, to stay one step ahead. Merrick is proud of what they've accomplished, so I doubt they'll give up information easily. If being persuasive isn't your strong suit, perhaps appealing to their substantial ego may help. If you can stomach it. Just don't be direct. I'm sure it would put them on the defensive. Either that, or make them completely unwilling to talk. See that you do. You'll find Merrick upstairs in the meditation room.
I was just thinking about leaving so soon.
May the Great Serpent bless you.